started with a dream to save the West, a life of preparation for a transcendental quest. Through an old typewriter, the flame began to rise, a light to lift the weary hearts and open darkened eyes. Live to give, let the Gita soar, a ray of hope from door to door. For every soul that longs to live, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give. In every town and village, wherever souls reside, distributing the nectar, Nityananda as our guide. Each book a ticking time bomb, exploding full of grace, a flash of perfect wisdom, a glimpse of Krishna's face. Live to give, let the Gita soar, a ray of hope from door to door. For every soul that longs to live, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give. Make every step a dance and every word a song, a world alive with happiness where everyone can belong. We're smashing goals together in the dust of lotus feet, revealing confidential secrets to the people on the street. Live to give, let the Gita soar, a ray of hope from door to door. For every soul that longs to live, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give. We hold a boundless blessing, a light to guide the way, a gift to stir the spirit and lead the heart to pray. Live to give, hear Chaitanya roar, Haribol from shore to shore. For every soul that longs to live, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give, we live to give. Dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. So carry the torch and smile ear to ear, till Krishna's love fills every heart, his mercy ever near.
Gaura Premanande Haribo. Hare Kṛṣṇa, dear devotees, please accept my most humble obeisances. Vancha kalpavrischa, kripa sindhave vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Welcome to our very first of meetings. Well, I should say that again. Welcome, everyone, to the first of the 2024 meetings we'll have to organize ourselves for the Live to Give campaign, which is a great relief because it's so easy to distribute Bhagavad-gītā, especially after we've been distributing Śrīmad Bhagavatams, don't you think? What's more, it's so vital It's so essentially part of our campaign around the world to promote Bhagavad-gītā, and it's completely unassailable. So we have great opportunity right now all over the planet while people are trying to figure out how to align themselves properly so that they get the best out of life. And most people are way off course. Bhagavad-gītā is a course setter. Once people read the Bhagavad-gītā, they can go on with their lives, but they can dedicate themselves to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and feel satisfied that they're actually making progress, instead of having an empty feeling that whatever they're doing is doomed to be destroyed at the end. So we are now looking to remember, well, let me say, we're looking to bring our energies back together again and have a clear idea of what our goals are for the Live to Give campaign. And I'd like to read an excerpt from the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta about Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu himself and his mood in distributing Krishna consciousness to the world. Shall I? Okay, Bhavasandi gave me 2 thumbs up. Shamahini gave me a thumbs up through emoji. Okay, looks like we're safe to go. I don't know if that's a quorum, but we're going to try for it. And also, whatever time of day or night it is, if you have your pajamas on, it's okay. You can turn your camera on whenever you feel like it. We have no objection. This is from the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ādi Lilā, chapter 8, text number 21. Such a charming verse in which the author has written, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, is fully independent. Therefore, although it is the most confidentially stored benediction, he can distribute love of Godhead to anyone and everyone without consideration. And here's Śrīla Prabhupāda's purport. This is the benefit of Lord Chaitanya's movement. If one somehow or other comes in contact with the Hare Kṛṣṇa movement without consideration of his being a śūdra, vaisya, Jagāi Mādhāi, or even lower, he becomes advanced in spiritual consciousness and immediately develops love of Godhead. Boy, that's an astounding statement. Even if somebody's lower than Jagāi Mādhāi, do you have anybody like that in Oceania? Lower than Jagāi Mādhāi? Okay, you'll have to look around and find somebody and test this out. We now have actual experience that throughout the entire world, this movement is making many such persons lovers of God simply by chanting of the Hare Kṛṣṇa mahāmantra. Actually, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu has appeared as the spiritual master of the entire world. He does not discriminate between offenders and the innocent. Kṛṣṇa-prema-pradāya. He liberally gives love of God to anyone and everyone. This can be actually experienced as stated in the next verse. This section of the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta goes to the mood of Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu, the most munificent and generous in giving out love of God. So we can follow in the footsteps of Lord Caitanya. We're definitely not Babājis. We don't retreat to a solitary place to chant for ourselves. We're following the footsteps of the great givers of Krishna consciousness, going out and giving to everyone possible. So let's talk together about what's happening on your side of the Earth planet that's been allotted to you. You got a whole section of the planet to take care of. And anyone else who's listening in from other parts of the world, you've got your whole township or whatever it is, you're free to inundate it with Krishna consciousness. Use the time you have in this human form of life to follow Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu's generosity, mood of generosity, and you'll become perfect in Krishna consciousness. So Shamahini is here moderating, and we've talked beforehand about hearing from all of you what it's looking like over there. And we have some maps to show at some point to give you an idea of what pledges have been made so far, let's start with Baba Sundhi. She was the first one to appear on the Zoom screen to open her camera, and as usual, leading the way for many of us all over the world on the book distribution front. Baba Sundhi, how's it going, and what's it looking like over there for 2024 Live to Give?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. So, seeing as you want to see what it's looking like over there, I thought I would show you some pictures of some things, because they say a picture says 1,000 words. So, yeah, so here are some New Zealand, what's happening on the streets of New Zealand at the moment. Yeah, so lots of devotees out on the street distributing Bhagavad-gītās. And actually, petrol stations have become a bit of a favorite for people, especially working grihastas who go to work very early in the morning. People are, distributing books before breakfast, as it said. So both people at the petrol stations getting petrol and those behind the counter, which is kind of interesting because in the Prabhupada Lila Marisha, it describes how book distribution started at petrol stations where they were swapping books for gas, which was quite fun. And then, of course, car parks, also very popular. Yeah, just Bhagavad-gītās everywhere. And especially this time of year, it's our summer here. So we join, ISKCON Auckland joins around a dozen Santa parades. They take the Rath Yatra cart, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So along with the Rath Yatra, we have book distribution, prasadam distribution. So, yeah, it's a very festive time of year. People are very happy to give. And also, promoting, giving thoughtful gifts. So Bhagavad-gītās, Srimad Bhagavatams, and it's been, probably all over the world. It's Black Friday, so people are really in the mood for shopping. So we've been trying to, promote giving some lasting knowledge that will really help people. And this is one of the brahmacharis on traveling Sanktan. Sanktan devotees, the traveling book distributors are really focusing on stacks at the moment. So having Bhagavad-gītās in the stacks, and of course taking Srimad Bhagavatam wherever we go. So having book tables with stacks, just on the street, as well as organizing them in malls as well. And this is one of our beautiful grihasta couples. So also the working grihastas, whenever they have time after work, going together as a family, distributing books. Just so many happy faces. And of course, behind every book, there's a story. I'll just share one of these stories. This elderly couple here, Somi and me, met in Levin, very small town, which sometimes it's easier to stop people in a small town because they're just happy to see someone. And this couple, they've been married for, I think, 60 plus years, I think she said. So a very long time. And, they had children together. But he saw Bhagavad-gītā and he was interested because when he was at university, he joined the Indian Association because he was very interested in the Vedic culture, Indian culture. So he was attractive, but his wife said to him, "We're Christian. Remember, we're Christians. We're not taking this." But then Somi Me, in her beautiful personal way, just tried to win the wife over, talking to her, and got to know her life story. They had multiple children, and one of them was actually murdered a few years ago. And she said that, that terrible experience actually brought her closer to God. So after a very hearty exchange, he very happily gave a large donation and took a whole stack of books, including Bhagavad-gītā. So from that first, just, brush off, this isn't, we're Christian, we're not doing this. Then actually, the devotees' personalism opened the heart, and they took a whole stack of books. And then these are some photos from Saradia in Hamilton. So Hamilton is just a small family of devotees there, but they're very dedicated. On Harinam, every time they go on Harinam, they take books, and also to their colleagues at work. So just one small family just making such a difference in a small New Zealand town. And then, of course, the ladies traveling Sanktan team, they're focusing on stacks of different sizes, large stacks, and just in prominent places. So organizing book tables, both inside malls and outside supermarkets, and just having a a very kind of organized way about things. So different payment methods, just it builds people's confidence, builds the devotees' confidence. But yeah. So again, devotees inside a shopping center, some prasadam to attract people as well. And yeah, I think I've run out of slides now. So yeah, basically, on this, lots of on the street book distribution, inside malls, car parks, all over the place. And also we've been building up relationships with correction facilities here, or prisons as other countries may call them, with the chaplains and the libraries there. So one chaplain emailed me the other day saying, "Oh, thank you for those Bhagavad-gītās you sent me. I've run out of them now. Can you please send some more?" So yeah, just contacting the contacts again and again, and they're always happy to take more and distribute those, as well as motels as well. So just building up Shastradhan avenues, things like that. And of course we've got Gita Jayanti coming up very shortly as well. So yeah, organizing for that as well, big push there. So yeah, that's an update from New Zealand.
Brava, Baba Sundhi. I'm curious to know how you got so many great pictures. Do you have a directive for the devotees to take action shots? Because these are great shots you're getting.
Yeah, so at the end of, it's probably inspired by a few different things. So at the end of year, we have an end of year festival in Otaki with Dev Maruna Maharaj, and we always have a huge Sankirtan evening. And so, yeah, we just encourage the devotees to take photos. So, we have devotees telling nectar stories, and then we have a slide presentation, and then we have Maharaj speak, and then we have like a massive kirtan, and it's always the most ecstatic kirtan of the whole festival. So yeah, so a lot of the photos are for that. But then also we have WhatsApp groups as well. So we've got like a Grihasta working team Sankirtan WhatsApp group. So just to encourage each other. So you're sitting there on your everyday routine, and suddenly somebody sends through a photo, and it's like, whoa, I want to be doing that too. So it kind of reminds you, oh yeah, gotta join the fun. So inspiring, so just inspiring each other. There's something else as well, but I've forgotten what it was. Slipped my mind.
Thank you very much. A lively and inspiring report for sure.
Thank you. Yeah,
We'll
please send our blessings. Please send everyone's blessings that we can, increase and smash our goals.
May you set goals bigger than last year and smash them. Hare Kṛṣṇa. And we'll come more to what pledges have been made later. I'll show the maps. Thank you very much. Now we're coming to our leading indicator country, Fiji, and we have Rukmini Mohan Prabhu, who every time we see looks younger and more blissful, because he's expanding Sankirtan there so heartily that Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu, I think, is living within his heart and giving him direction. Please tell us how things are going in Fiji.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda, Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, and Hare Kṛṣṇa to all.
Hey, wait a minute. Are we wearing the exact same shirt and Pavitram? This couldn't have been coordinated, couldn't it have? Anyway, go ahead.
It's a little bit similar. But I think yours is a little bit greenish or navy blue. Mine is navy blue, actually. So
I think somehow we're tuned in. We have something going on. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, and I hope, and I pray that Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu dances in my heart. It's the only thing that devotee could wish for, really, pray for, I suppose. But Vaiśeṣika Prabhu, we are doing well here in Fiji. I actually wanted to share a presentation. It's just that my laptop is saying that you've run out of space. So there are a lot of beautiful pictures of Sankirtan that I have, but unfortunately, I won't be able to share it now. But perhaps in the next session, then I'll be able to share all these pictures of Sankirtan pictures. Our goal for this year overall is 1,000 239, and we are on 715. So around 1,200 is our goal for this year, and we are on 700. So another 500 Bhagavad-gītas for us to try to distribute, or even try to go surpass the goal of 1,200. It's all beautiful here. I'm just so grateful to all the Sankirtan devotees that are involved. They've been doing Sankirtan every week. You know, some of the dedicated devotees, they're doing Sankirtan every week. It's just that when this campaign comes in, then there's a little bit more boost, more hype for people to get involved as well. So ISKCON Suba is leading the way at the moment. It's passed its goal, surpassed its goal of 300 Bhagavad-gītas. So it's on 304 at the moment. The next big Sankirtan party is ISKCON Fiji, with a lot of dedicated devotees there, led by Ram Prabhu. They are on 144. And then ISKCON Singatoka is also big on Bhagavad-gīta. Guru Smanna Mataji, who's a doctor, and she does some beautiful programs there, encourages a lot of people to come to the temple, Shishirada Damodar temple there. Their goal is 300 as well. They are 157, so past the halfway mark. And ISKCON Lautoka, 50, their goal is 50, they are on 18. ISKCON Nosori is a goal of 108, they are on 80. And we now have small areas in different parts of the Fiji that have joined. Even if they have a small goal of, let's say, 12 or 24, we're just grateful that they are now on board. So we're basically covering all areas of Fiji. So we have ISKCON Taviuni, ISKCON Ba, ISKCON Reki, ISKCON Lambasa, ISKCON Savu Savu, ISKCON Tavua, and ISKCON Navua. And this, just to give some perspective, we have really some of these areas, we have just one-man team really. So their goal is around 12 to 24 to 30 small goals. But again, just grateful that they are on board. They are trying their best to participate in the campaign. So that is how it is looking like at the moment, Vaiśeṣika Prabhu. And with the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, I'm expecting that we will surpass the goal this year again. Thank you.
May you have success in all areas. I loved hearing the long list of participants and the steady formula, the stable formula is that lots of devotees each doing what they can.
Yes.
It's just according to capacity. It's more everyone feels encouraged to be involved. And you've been so instrumental in that, in encouraging devotees all over Fiji to get involved. And it's definitely growing into something that is astounding over there. And thank you very much for your leadership there in infusing the devotees with this sense of purpose for going out, distribute Bhagavad-gītas. May the Fiji devotees smash all of their goals this year. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu.
Gaur Premanande Haribol. And now we're swinging over to Australia. And today we'll have the presenter will be Madhavananda Prabhu.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu. Sorry, just setting myself up.
Sure, no problem. Take your time, Madhavananda Prabhu.
No, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay.
So, myself, Madhavananda, those who don't know, from Gold Coast Bhakti Center, and Vilas Mataji somehow said that I can update the Australian goals. I'll start with what other all the yatras are pledging for. So I'll start with AYR Air. It's a very small pocket in North Queensland. They are pledged for 10 Bhagavad-gītas. I tell you what, their 10 should be multiplied by 1,000 because there is no one there. This is just out in nowhere air. And it's a very small I mean, I don't know if you can even see, it's a very, very small town. Doing 10 Bhagavad-gītas means a lot there. Brisbane, ISKCON Brisbane has pledged for 1,000 Bhagavad-gītas. Burbank has pledged for 1,000 Bhagavad-gītas. Toowoomba, that's another preaching center there, and between towards west from Brisbane, 150 Bhagavad-gītas, small town. We, Gold Coast Bhakti Center, from where I come from, we have pledged for 500. New Govardhan, the biggest temple for us, all of us, is doing 2,000 Bhagavad-gītas. Hare Kṛṣṇa Cultural Center in Sydney, New South Wales, 500. Sydney, 2,000. Melbourne, 13,000. And I've seen few of their brahmacharis already coming towards Brisbane and doing. I saw a couple of brahmacharis in Gold Coast, and I think they are floating around Australia to meet up their target of 13,000. Hobart on 90. And that's it. That's all I think, the pledges from Australia. For us, year after year, one thing which I've always worked is Harinam, and just Harinam basically. We have used social media in past. This might motivate everyone. I was in India last week, and the first thing I went my home, I had Prabhupada picture, and it came off, and I went to the photographer where we can get the picture of Prabhupada fixed, and I didn't have any change. So there was an old man next to me. He said, "Oh, I'll pay for this." I said, No, it's okay, I'll pay. He said, "Don't worry, I owe you guys something." I said, "Why?" He said he was in New York in 70s, and they used to free prasadam in those days when he was struggling with his studies. And when he saw Prabhupada picture, he remembered Prabhupada. He was old. He was an old guy. He said, "I know this person. He used to feed us prasadam during those days." So you can imagine after 50 years, he still wants to give back something. So that motivates me, like, those kind of things. So maybe the people might not read the books now. They might take it and put it on the shelf for now. But down the line, in 50 years' time, they will be like, they will remember us. So yeah, just few pictures I would like to share with you guys. This is it's Can we see the picture?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. This is 10 out of 10 times whenever Nepalese family comes, you give them each Bhagavad-gītas in their hand. They take, each of them take. They don't say, "I have one and we all will share," like any other. It has happened with me so many times that if there is a Nepalese family is coming, I give them one Bhagavad-gīta each in their hand. Whether it's 5, whether it's 6, whether it's 3, they all will take one Bhagavad-gīta each. So, and like, with some families, they come across and they say, no, we'll share. And the line I use is, "Do you have two phones each other, or do you share your phones?" And then they say, no, we have our own phones. I said, then why to share each other's Bhagavad-gīta? Like, so it has always worked. We had schoolies Harinam, and we did some book distribution only last few weeks, and it went very nice. Again, Nepalese couple, they all three took each book each, like, with hand on my heart, never force them. You just keep them one book each in Nepalese couples or families. They all will take one book each. It has never worked that they won't. Very pious people. This guy, we do a Griffith Uni Prasad distribution. He finished his last day, and I said, "We'd like to give you a gift on your last day of uni." We gave him this book, and he happily took, and of course gave us a donation as well. One of his friend who is going to be a dentist, he said when he becomes a dentist, he'll fix our teeth for free. So that's the advantage of giving free prasadam distribution. This is a Christian guy I met on the road only a few weeks back. We had a good half an hour conversation, and then he ended up in taking Science of Self-Realization. So yeah, there are many pictures. Our philosophy is same. We go for Harinam, do books. I made a mistake yesterday. On Friday night, I want to go for Harinam books. And then I said, no, I'll go for Saturday Harinam. Saturday's been raining, Sunday it's raining. Lesson learned, never leave book distribution for next day. Do it now and whenever you have time, like, now, and there's no tomorrow for these things. So anyways, that's all I have. Anyone would like to add something, please?
Amazing. Thank you very much for giving us some insight into the long-term effects of people coming in contact with Harinam book distribution, and for telling us about the pledges of all the devotees over there. Nicely done, Madhavananda Prabhu.
Vilas Mataji, do you want to add something from Australia? I mean,
Yeah, sorry, Hare Kṛṣṇa, please accept my humble obeisances, everyone. I just started in the chat there, Melbourne, they have a goal of 13,000, and when I asked them what they're doing this year, they're promoting this one Bhagavad-gītā a day, OBAD. I don't know where that comes from, maybe it's from New Zealand, from the New Zealand devotees, and they said it's caught the momentum in the congregation, and many devotees have taken it on to go out. They have a big congregation, and many devotees have taken on that challenge to distribute a Bhagavad-gītā every day. Their marathon's going from 24th of November to the 24th of December, and then they have a big community celebration. So yeah, a lot of devotees out there have taken on that challenge for the month, and it's working really well.
There's a way in which when devotees get some momentum, just one of the aspects of book distribution, when you are out there and feeling that you're enveloped by the internal energy, it makes you want to go out more. So it's a brilliant program that you have for everyone doing a book a day. Very inspiring. Thank you. Now we're going to look at the maps, and we'll have some time for discussion. Just show you where we are now. It's preliminary, to say the least, because we have whole continents yet where we don't have the pledges. We'll be gathering those over the next few days and maybe weeks. When everyone gets up to speed, we're checking in with everybody everywhere. And we have some, well, in any case, we'll share some thoughts about pledges and what's happening, and we'll get some input from our statistical analysis team. So our goal this year, and our logo, which many of you have seen, is on the first slide, which I just missed. Make Earth smart again. Feels like people have suddenly become stupid, and they're missing out on the ultimate goal of life. Everything's okay, whatever they're doing, but it should be connected to Krishna, yet Kodashi yet Ashnashi, etc. And there's a way in which everyone's forgotten the purpose of life. So we have the opportunity to make Earth smart again. Next. In fact, Prabhupada has written in the Bhagavatam that the Bhagavad-gītā is the Vedic intelligence. So any human being can come up to speed if they get the Bhagavad-gītā. I think we just need more. We need to get more books in more people's hands. So September 18th is when it started. It's going to January 7th. That's the last day for reporting anything. The real cause of one's difficulties in the hard struggle for life may be found in one's forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Śrīla Prabhupāda's words from the Bhagavad-gītā 5:25 purport. I heard recently about a philanthropist who is using her great fortune of $11 million. She's the wife of Steve Jobs, to innovate about ways to help improve various ways that we take care of people. But when I looked into it, none of them had a spiritual element to them, which leaves everyone in the same position they were before. We're in an enviable situation where we have medicine that can cure what's really ailing people. It's empowering to know that and to be very convinced of it. especially by reading the Bhagavad-gītā ourselves. We can move on. Now I'm going to have Ranchor Prabhu, who's one of our latest very important members of the Marketing, Communications, and Innovations team, to say a few words about the next upcoming slides because he's personally worked on them.
Yes, Marge. Sorry. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Can you all hear me?
Can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, yes. A new piece of tech, so it's a little bit challenging.
There's Ranchor. Okay, go for it. Tell us what we've won.
So we're on a very steady increase from 2 million to 2.2 million in 2020 when we started tracking Bhagavad-gītā scores to about 5 million in 2026. We've been trending upwards at a pretty constant rate, close to 10%. Towards the beginning, we really made a huge jump, and we've continued to maintain at least most of that. So we're anticipating a growth of about 400,000 Bhagavad-gītas for the next 3 years to get us to our prized 5 million in 2026. But this year, our stepping stone this year is 4.2 million. And specifically with Oceania, Oceania has stayed pretty stable, which is a good thing in one sense, and they've also grown slightly from our initial years. But we are going to see and need to see a lot of wonderful increases from Oceania just so we can hit our targets for 2026. So we've seen some pretty good stability so far, which is good. And our goal for 2024 is 39,641. So that's based on a 10% year-over-year increase from 2022. So that's how we calculated what our intermediate goals were for the 5 million in 2026. And so to break it down country by country, Fiji will be aiming for about 2,277 Bhagavad-gītas. Australia, 23,242, and New Zealand, 14,121. These again are all based off of a 10% year-over-year increase from 2022. So many of your yatras are on track. Australia is quite close, I see, and Fiji is already halfway to whatever they projected so far, with most of the marathon left to go. And similarly, we hope to see big things from New Zealand as well. And you all have the benefit of warmer weather, while the Northern Hemisphere has the difficulties of colder weather. So hopefully we'll see increases all across the board.
Ranchorji, what are the parenthetical numbers there in yellow?
The parentheticals are what they have pledged as of right now. That data is as of a few hours ago. I don't exactly remember when, but yeah, right before this call, we collected the data from the maps we're about to see. But if there's new data that comes in, we'll be happy to update it.
So it looks like with Fiji, 764, what they have in the book so far, and 2,277, that's their stretch number to stay on pace for the 5 million by 2026, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so here are some of the maps of how the distribution is geographically distributed across all of Oceania. I think it was mentioned that one town that's doing 10, you can see that right here on the map. And then also Adelaide, which was mentioned in the celebration sangha for this group, that though they're in a pretty northern area, which may be more difficult to get books, they're still able to distribute those books.
The number 29,979 is what's been pledged so far, or what you're projecting as what the pledge should be?
That is what has been pledged so far, but that is over the entire region of Oceania. So that is Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji combined.
And do you have a target number for the entire Oceania?
Yes, that's 39,641.
It's a mere only 10,000 more, right?
Right.
It's nothing. Okay. Thank you.
And then here's Europe. We're still missing quite a few pledges from Europe, but hopefully over the next few days they'll start to come in. This is North America, which is having a pretty strong showing again this year. I believe there might be a few devotees on the call from North America, that it's a little bit later in the evening for them. But we're seeing pretty much every center is starting to turn up the gears for the Prabhupada Marathon. And hopefully I think a lot of devotees have now come back from Karthik, so they're starting to really get at it and start to distribute books. So we're seeing increased pledges pretty much everywhere.
Fantastic. I like the look. I like when it looks very crowded on the map.
Yes.
That's a good, healthy sign. A lot of centers involved, a lot of devotees contributing to doing what they can. Okay, thanks. That's great. Keep going whenever you like.
Yes. So this is Africa. I think it's worth noting that last year their pledge was 7,000, and with 4 centers reporting, they have already more than exceeded their pledge. And last year their actual score was more than double time, so we can hope for big things from Africa. But so far, we are seeing just a few centers reporting. We're still hearing from West Africa and other places, but we hope that once those scores come in, we'll see a big boost.
Go Africa.
This is South America. So yeah, we're seeing still not everyone's pledges have come in just yet, but whoever we have seen so far are pretty good. We're seeing Chile and Argentina, and then also in Mexico, Nueva Bahulavan. And we hope to see a little bit more from other countries, such as Uruguay. I know they're pretty responsive to our messages on our WhatsApp groups, are pretty interactive, and hopefully we get to see a lot more growth from there.
Can you give us any comparison numbers from last year?
I will get them as soon as possible. I do have them, but I'll get them after the slides, if that's okay.
No problem.
And then India, we're still waiting to hear back from India's pledges. We have gotten pledges from maybe 3 or 4 centers, which has come out to 1,000. But last year they did, I believe, 3.2 million, 3.3 million rounded. So we're also hearing reports that some regions want to do over 1 million Bhagavad-gītas. So we're gonna hope to see a big increase there.
Yeah, the thing is, they have to get Chitragupta and Ganesh to write everything down because so many scores coming, so many pledges coming in, even though empowered souls have to write as fast as they can to copy them all down.
And then right now we're standing at about 320,000 Bhagavad-gītas pledges all over the world. But hopefully we're also missing out on Madhya Pradesh, which usually has a pretty strong standing. And we're still waiting on a little bit more countries in Europe and a lot more from India. So I think right now we're looking in a good spot to hit 4.2.
Thank you to Ranchor. Haribo. Well, that's one of the benefits of book distribution. It's easy to count. You either do the books or you don't. Well, we have a special guest, Shastra Krit, on the call. I don't know if he's in a position to speak to us. It's late at night where he is, but since he's a stalwart, maybe if you're there and can hear me and are in a position to say anything, if you want to encourage the devotees, he goes out every day with his family and is running a vibrant center out there. And It's one of the southern states of America. Shastrakrit,
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Tell us
Humble
how it's
obeisance.
going over there. What's it looking like?
I'm part of ISV.
Well, lucky for
78,000.
Pardon me?
It's going great, Prabhu. I mean, it's people are in good spirits, and I'm still built the momentum from the Bhadra Purnima, so I keep distributing Bhagavatams, and people are, easily taking cases of Gitas, and Bhagavad-gītās are going out in different languages, and it's looking really good and hopeful. And weather is also really nice, even though it's winter, but it's sunny and holidays, and it's ecstatic.
Thank you,
We are not-
Shastrakrit. Since you mentioned cases are going out, I wanted to mention that one of the ways in which devotees here in America, and very specifically with Shastrakrit, and also here on the West Coast, when we find somebody that's favorable, we have a clipboard that lists how many how many cases of Bhagavad-gītās they're sponsoring. We keep that clipboard on our table or in the hands of the devotees. And when we meet favorable people, we hand them the clipboard and we ask them if they'd like to also sponsor some Gītas. And it's already filled in many of the places where people have donated 3 cases, 10 cases, 50 cases with the amount that they donated. And when people see the clipboard, most people just fill in a number and they'll say, I'll donate 5 cases or I'll donate 3. So that's one thing. Is one of the rules of distribution is whatever you can sell one of, you can always sell in bunches like bananas. So think in terms of selling cases. When you meet somebody favorable, if you're lined up to show them a clipboard of who's donated cases or donated 4 cases or taken cases. And yesterday when we were downtown San Francisco, we had several tables down there going full blast along with Harinam and Prasadam distribution. And we met quite a few people. For instance, Malini told us this morning she met a person who had a barber shop around the corner and he really liked the Bhagavad-gītā. So she said, would you like to distribute some to others? And he said, I'll take a few to start and I'll put them in my shop. And then I'll distribute them from there, and then I'll get your number. So if I need more, I can load up on more. And that happened with a few people down there. So that's also something to keep in mind. And Shastrakrit Prabhu had reminded me when he said that there's a way in which if you think in terms of cases for people who are open for it, that it could help to expand. In other words, the thought process is that everyone can become a distributor. They can also be involved and turn them into one of the distribution centers. After all, they have a shop, and just cutting hair is a little boring, but if you're also distributing Bhagavad-gītās from your shop, then it makes it infinitely more exciting to be a member of Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Shastrakrit, any other thoughts?
I mean, I'm so happy to hear this course and be in your association and inspired and blessed. And yes, Prabhu.
Well, keep up the great work out there, and thanks for joining us, even though it's so late at night there. We're really touched. Okay. Shamahini,
Yes, Prabhu.
give us a little insight from your side. Shamahini works 24 hours a day on this project, day, night. She never sleeps. She only thinks about books and how to expand them and the distribution of them. So we'd like to hear a few thoughts from what is it doing to you, this absorption and distribution book? Because it goes from one marathon to the next. So how's it affecting you?
I really like these calls because I think it gives us an opportunity to get together. It forces everybody to collect those pledges because they know that now we're going to show them on the maps. And it allows us, by forced efficiency, to consolidate. And I think that's a really good practice for our team and for the extended team as well. I have a pledge from Thailand. Their current pledges are at 1,200 Bhagavad-gītas right now. So, and we also corrected Fiji's numbers. There are 1,239. I think the charts showed 701. As Rancho Prabhu mentioned, they were updated a few hours ago. We're also waiting to hear from Japan and some of the other countries in neighboring countries in Oceania. And we hope that over the next few weeks, we will get to hear from them for the pledges.
Ranchor.
Yes, Maharaj. For the South America data. So last year they did 5.2K. And in 2022 they did 3.8K. So in they're expected for this year is around 4K. 4.5K, so like 4,600, 4,700 in that range, but they've already pledged 4,500, and last year they did 5,200. So they're looking at a good spot to fulfill their contribution to the 4.2 this year, and then the 5 million in 2026. But I think they'll be able to really smash their goals if they're already starting to get big numbers.
I like having Ranchor on here. There's something about your voice and the way you present things that's making us all feel very optimistic about the future. Thank you very much, Ranchor. Fantastic. What else do you have there, Shamahini? What's your realization about distributing books? Because that's all you do now.
Today in Toronto, we had gone out door to door and we were trying to distribute books, and there were all these different families that we were meeting. There was one family which had from the outside, it seemed like it was a Christian family, and we were hesitant to knock their door because sometimes they come across as like, we know it all. And it was a couple. When we showed them the Bhagavad-gītā, they were so happy and they started singing the mahāmantra because they had heard it in Brazil and said, oh, this is a very famous song in Brazil and we hear people sing it all the time, and they sing shlokas from the Gita. And he didn't use the word shlokas, he said some prayers from the Bhagavad-gītā. And it's just that exchange uplifted the whole team because, like Prabhu, you always say, it's the move in the movement. When the books move from one hand to the other, that's what actually creates that movement. And I also had this, reflection, realization that the marathon is in the consciousness of the devotees. That's what makes the marathon, because how we take that anxiety, how are we going to do it? How is it going to happen? And that's where the magic happens, because like you say, Lord Caitanya will sign the check, but it's up to us to make that endeavor and show to Lord Caitanya, we care about it. We want to be a part of it. We're going to take that extra step, go out in the cold or the hot weather, however it may be. And we want a part of it. So that was my little reflection.
Wow. That was really nice, Shamahini. And isn't it true that when we take those measures, for instance, you mentioned go out with the really hot and really cold, don't we feel more ecstasy when we do that? When we know it's a challenge and we know it's against the better judgment of the part of our mind that says stay in your comfort zone and don't worry about it, but you do it anyway. Don't we feel more exhilarated than when we take those kinds of risks? Shamahini had an intervention there. The kids moved in. Namachintamani, how are you doing over there? You've been going out in book distribution. Tell us what's happening. What are some of your realizations?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, and to all the devotees. Yesterday we went to a shopping mall here in Melbourne, and we've been going out twice a month for the last year or so to these shopping malls, and somehow when it comes to the marathon time, the energy is very different. There's this Christmas, there was a Christmas parade in the mall yesterday, and we had a pop-up stall, and we set up our stall with like Christmas decorations, and we set it up nicely, and we had lots of sets, and there's a few brahmacharis here in Melbourne who are going traveling, and they're also, one of them is going to the malls as well, and so we had heard that he had done 60 Bhagavad-gītās or 60 books in a day. And so we were inspired by that, our team. And so we shared that with the team and said, let's pray that we can at least come close to that and try to emulate that. And we were surprised because we did sets. We were just approaching people, going out of our comfort zone, being really friendly, and sharing prasadam as well in the form of lollies. And we were just so happy with how it all turned out. We met some really nice people, and a lot of Christian people yesterday we met who took books, were very happy, very open. And as soon as they saw that we were volunteers, we're just sharing this spiritual wisdom. We're not selling the books. We just asked for a donation, and some people came and gave us extra donations, and we're really appreciative of the work, and we're feeling really encouraged. And we're also doing the 1 book a day challenge, and there's a really nice energy in the group. We have a WhatsApp group every day, 6 a.m. The messages start. Devotees are putting messages in that I've distributed to the petrol station guy, to my Uber driver, and to the parcel delivery guy, and we're just finding creative ways of how can I get my 1 book a day in. And so the energy here is really inspiring and uplifting.
Wow, what a great report, Namachintamani. Fantastic. Please give our best to all the devotees there. We wish we were there on the ground with them. Prabhupada said there's no safer place than to be with the Sankirtan party. And I would also add that you can't have any more fun than going out on book distribution, because you never know what's going to happen next, and it usually contrary to what your mind says is going to happen, and it's just so surprising and uplifting. And when you get those kinds of appreciations from people, it makes life worth living, doesn't it? And I see that over here, Siddharth had put in the picture of that family that Shamahini mentioned. Look at how blissful they look, getting the Bhagavad-gītā. Yeah. Well, this is it. We're right in the middle of it. And this is us. Nobody else is airdropping in anyone except for the people we recruit. And we've been handed this service. I just feel so lucky that we're all together and that we get the chance in this era to do our very best to try to continue Prabhupada's legacy. I can't think of anything better than that. I really can't. If I do, I'll let you know, but I don't think it's possible. So I'm so deeply grateful to be with all of you on these calls and just feel how the energy pervades the whole earth by doing this service, which is part of the internal energy. Let's leave it all in the field. We can leave this world at any time for any reason. There's no guarantee for 5 more seconds. So if we can just work together in this cooperative spirit and keep reaching for higher numbers, everything's possible. Prabhupada didn't know what was going to happen. And we heard just the other day that from Gargamuni Prabhu, one of Prabhupada's original disciples, that when Prabhupada, after just about 10 years of spreading Krishna consciousness around the world, and was sitting in the skyscraper building in Manhattan that we got at 340 West 55th, he was saying, how did this happen? I mean, Prabhupada came over penniless, and then he had a tall building in Manhattan to speak of on every other continent, hundreds of centers. So it's obviously a transcendental activity, and not only do the people benefit when we give them, there's always a story. We don't know what it is, but it ends up somewhere that I met the Hare Kṛṣṇa in such and such a year. It could be 20 years later, it could be 20 lifetimes later, but there's always an effect. because it's a transcendental activity. And the Bhagavad-gītā is Krishna himself. And the world really is struggling right now to find their way, find its way. People of the world are struggling collectively to try to understand how to do the right thing. Bhagavad-gītā is the most commonsensical, straightforward explanation of God consciousness. If people get a chance to read it, then one at a time, they'll become transcendentalized, and they'll be also eager to help spread the Krishna consciousness movement. And what a nice thing to be able to offer Prabhupada if we can keep increasing these numbers and really get to some huge, huge numbers by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. Shamahini, may I end, or do you have any more announcements?
For those of you who can join us, we have a call in about 12 hours from now where the rest of the world will be signing in and sharing updates. And please stay tuned for more information on upcoming calls. Thank you, Prabhu.
We'll be broadcasting 24 hours, but not in a row. But we'll be back in 12. Dear Śrīla Prabhupada, dear Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, Śrī Panchatattva, Śrī Radha Madan Mohan, Śrī Radha Govinda, Śrī Radha Gopinath, Śrī Lakshmi Nrsingadev, please protect all the Sankirtan devotees. Please enliven our hearts and dance within our hearts like in Rukmini Mohan's heart, so that we can go from door to door, person to person, and not have any restriction in our mind whatsoever about what's possible, because your mercy is unlimited. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. And P.S., if you so desire, please help us to smash our goal for the global distribution of Bhagavad-gītas this year. Thank you very much. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare
Hare
Kṛṣṇa.
Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Vanchakalpatarishya, Kripa Sindhave, Vijapatitanam, Bhavani Bhyo Vaishavē. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini ki jai.
Jai.
Do huge, everybody.
His Grace
So
Vaiśeṣika
mad.
Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna.